Hey guys, we're happy to be back.
Week two, I just gotta call this out. We're having fun, but I feel like we're like the least professional looking thing ever. Like I was reviewing everything, and poor Krista, she's trying her hardest to be like editing to the most professional standard, and I'm a mess.
Look, guys, I'm actually a professional editor, and it's so funny. And I was like, I'm good, but I'm not that good. And I was laughing. I was laughing at her. I was like, my God, girl, you move a lot. I cannot match that.
And the
So
hands are
yeah, the
going all the
hands.
time.
But the thing is, I'm lucky because right now, once again, I'm without a camera because Amazon hasn't. I ordered it a week ago, and Amazon hasn't even shipped it out yet. But that's another thing. But once you see me, I'll probably be just as bad, probably worse than her. So like, because with my hand movements, we're Italian on our mom's side, guys. Like the
We're
hands are just.
never we're never gonna be like the spit and polish type. We just aren't. We're a mess.
We're the
We're a
spit
fun
type. We're
mess, but
not
we're a
polished.
mess.
Yeah.
And address the elephant in the room. So week two is pre-recorded. I am in a Mardi Gras crew, and I say Mardi Gras like I'm friggin' from Boston. I know, I'm sorry. But I made a commitment back at the beginning of the year that I was going to be a dancer in our ball, and come to find out we have weekly dance rehearsals on Wednesdays of all days. I'm like, deal. So we're moving with life, and we're going to make these pre-recorded for a short time, hopefully not for the rest of the year because our ball isn't until January, but we'll see what happens. And we still want to do this because, again, we're having fun, even though we're not spit and polished. Finnegan, you need to go. Go. Why, when I turn record on, does my dogs need
Yeah,
me so bad?
literally, we've been having a conversation for about a half hour and no dogs. And literally, I hit the record button and the dog wanders in, and I'm
Dog.
like, okay, there we go.
This is perfect. This is what we do. This is why we'll never be spit and polished.
But that's
Um,
okay because that's not life anyway, and that's what we're learning to roll with the punches of life, right? And
the
still
Yeah,
keep
the
having
other
fun.
one. Can you see her? Here's the other one. Perfect. Let's do it. Let's have a party. All right, let's try to buckle down and be a little bit serious. So, week two is going to be all about diving into the first module of Blueprint. And the first module of the Blueprint is called the Vision. So, the theme of it is before you build it, believe in it. And I just wanted to ask, what's something impossible that you pulled off anyway? You have anything that comes to mind, Krista?
Yeah, I have a big story, but I'm going to actually put it in a little bit later.
Okay,
That
I'll share
yeah,
my
you'll
story
get it.
then.
Yeah, you should totally
Perfect.
share yours.
I'll share my story. So I've always been a super curious person. So I've done so many things. Like I became a makeup artist for a little while. I've sold life insurance. God, what else have I done?
You did the master gardening
Mr.
thing. You
Gardener.
did the you got really into like scrapbooking and so like yeah.
Everything.
So
A
I joke
little bit
and
of
I
everything.
say she's got hobby ADHD, but
I
the
really
thing
do.
is I can't even throw stones because I do too. So it's okay. I just want to know how to do everything.
I do. I want to know it. And then I'm like, oh, okay, now that I know it, like this isn't really quite what I thought it was going to be. So I move on. But my husband calls himself a realist, which actually just is AKA for a Debbie Downer. And one day he came home with like five little bumblebee charms. And he told me, like, he gives them to me. And I'm like, but he goes, Jackie, he's like, bumblebees aren't supposed to fly. Their bodies are too heavy for the wing sizes, but yet they fly anyway. He goes, and I'm like, where in the hell is he going with this, right? Because I'm like so confused. And he goes, you remind me of a bumblebee. He's like, you make the impossible happen all the time. And I'm like, okay, thanks. I mean, it took me a while to see what he was talking about, but it was pretty cool that that was, how he saw me. And it helps me, like, seeing through his eyes, that helps me be like, oh yeah, I totally can do this. So even though there's seasons of life where we hear crickets and we're trying to push through doubt, like launching the comeback club is, thank you, Dom, is the perfect thing. I hold on to that, him telling me that. Not because it's easy to do, but because I believe that if I want it badly enough, I'll figure out how to fly anyways. And that he realized that, so I realized that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's actually a really powerful thing. I'm like super excited to talk about this today.
Awesome. Me too, because I love the science stuff. And like we're gonna dive a little bit into the science stuff.
Which, if you guys knew Jackie in high school, you'd know that that's one of the more ironic things she's ever said. But she has. She's come to like super embrace this, which is really cool. So now that you're kind of thinking about your bumblebee memory, we're going to get a little bit more into this. So there is a myth that, or like a preconceived notion that visioning is kind of just fluff, but it's not. It's actually like a mental time travel. When
Like
you,
the first time somebody, and I don't know, okay, again, I'm super curious, so I like dive into all these different forums and stuff like that. And the first time somebody tried doing this, I was just like, you're on crack.
well,
But
and I
it's
mean, it
cool.
sounds like it because you hear all of these people that are big into what's that buzzword around the manifesting. You hear them, you're like, I manifest things. Do you really? Okay. So, so here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. When you picture your future self, you're actually activating part of your brain tied to decision making and identity. You're not just daydreaming, you're actually rehearsing belief. So, according to neuroscience, your prefrontal cortex lights up during something called episodic future thinking, which means your brain is literally practicing becoming that version of you. It's not magic, kind of seems like it might be, kind of feels like it might be, but it's actually mechanics that are built into our brain function. So when you imagine a future version of yourself, your brain lights up in the same way it does when you take real action. It's actually rewiring you. It's building belief. Want to know what this looks like in real life? So Jackie had asked me earlier, and here's what I want to tell you. I kind of touched on this briefly last episode where I was involved in a workplace accident that damaged my brain and my cervical spine. And it was a work comp thing, and it was like such a fight and getting proper treatment. And so it was just an absolute nightmare. But either way, a couple years into it, I was in so much pain. And I was done. I was done with it. I was in my mid 20s and I couldn't imagine the rest of my life living in pain like this. We lived in Long Beach, California, street parking, which is a nightmare, let me tell you. But so some days I'd park 4 or 5 blocks from my house and I'd walk back and I'd walk in the door and I'd just collapse on the ground and just bawl because I was in so much pain. And I was just like, oh my God, this is not the life I want to live, guys. This isn't where I want to be. And I was constantly being told, well, no, this is just it. We can manage your pain. I'm not managing my pain. I'm not doing this anymore. I was super strong. I was super fit, and I wasn't losing that. That I couldn't be in my mid 20s and have the rest of my life be that. So I was like, no, I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back and be stronger. How can I do this? So I was picturing myself and like being the strong person and being able to, still be active and still go to the gym and whatever normal people do. I had to picture myself doing that. And once you know, I got an email from Groupon for yeah, I know, right? For a Pilates studio. And I started going to this Pilates studio and I met the most amazing Pilates instructor. And within 3 months, guys, my pain was down to 50% of what it had been. I was living in constant pain. Now it was only 50% of the time. And that just made it stronger for me. Like I could now really start envisioning, oh yeah, no, I can have a life without pain again. And that was super, super powerful for me. And I think like understanding why these exercises we're doing work is part of what's going to really sink it in for you and help you um actually be able to achieve them. Why is so important. And that's how I teach Pilates. And that's also how I came to be a Pilates instructor, by the way, is because of that. So But yeah, it was a really, really powerful um tool that I used to get out of that darkness.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. It's a hard story to tell, like going back into where you were miserable, but it's also nice to be like, look at how far I've come.
Yeah. And it took a long time to be able to actually tell that part of my story without like breaking down in tears and stuff because it was a bad place. That was
Yeah.
constantly, oh my God, just end it. Just put me out of my misery. I can't do this. But we
Yeah.
could do this, and here we are helping everybody else do this too.
Yeah. Passing on what we've learned the hard way, right?
Exactly. So hopefully your road doesn't get that bumpy.
Right. But also that we are totally weird geeks and we love thinking about visioning and holding that vision. And we did that in the comeback power hour. We kind of sort of like taught everybody how to do, your big old mental map
Your big
with your
movie
movie
screen.
theater screen.
Yeah, we were at
Yeah.
a drive-in movie theater.
Yeah, big, huge movie theater screen. So here's what we're gonna do with that information. I want you to either open a notebook, open a notes app on your phone, a Google Doc, whatever works for you. And I want you to start a blank page. I don't know. Open a blank page, whatever. And we're gonna title it I'm Becoming a Force. Just by doing that little tiny thing, you actually have opened a new neural loop and you've created space for a future version of you that's already rising. And you've just sent a message to your brain that says, this matters. How cool is that? Like, that's how easy it is to open a new neural loop.
It I think that's absolutely amazing. Like our brain is such an extraordinary thing that we know very little about. Like especially most people that don't geek out over this stuff know so little about how the brain functions and they're missing a huge part of what could make their life so much
So
better.
much easier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and easier. And it's little itty bitty tiny things that you can do that which is
right,
why it's so exciting for us to share this with you all.
right. So I want you, now that we've labeled our notebook, our sheet of paper, wherever we're doing it, we're going to do an exercise. Again, it could be a little weird at first, but after we go through this exercise, we're going to explain how. So, right now, on your notebook paper, under I'm Becoming a Force, grab the first words that pop into your head from these prompts, okay? Don't overthink it. Lord, I'm a classic overthinker. Just whatever pops into your brain, throw it on the piece of paper. Don't try to like pick the best word, the right word. Just pick a word.
Yeah,
Krista,
this
take it
is
away.
Yeah, so this is a rapid fire exercise, guys. We're just going to move on really quick. So, our number one prompt, we're going to pick a word that is super raw and vulnerable to you. It could be from a mess, a memory, or even just a mood, but just something that like is super vulnerable and makes your heart kind of be like, oh, cringy. Like you don't want to share that word, but we need to acknowledge it.
So, number two, pick one word that fuels your fire, like completely feeds your soul, that makes you feel bold and like super empowered.
And then number three, we're going to pick one word that's aspirational to you, that like really hits you in the feels, like gets you going. Not the same word as a fuel word, but something that's just like, oh yeah, I need to do something about this.
Number four is pick a made up or nonsensical word like risified, unbothered-ish, or shrumbled. Like just something that's completely ridiculous. And if this one's a little hard for you in your kindling kit this week, I have a couple of examples. So if you can't pick one right now, we're going to move on.
And number five, we're going to pick a word that lets you exhale, like things that just make you feel inner peace, like, that's off my shoulders.
Awesome. Okay, so I owe you guys an explanation. So this isn't just a creative exercise, this is rewiring how you see yourself. So we're tapping into two brain magic tricks, the identity encoding and the generation effect. So the translation would be your brain remembers and believes what you generate more than anything that you simply read or hear. So when someone says my five words are soft, dynamic, undeniable, inspirational, my middle word, and unstoppable, they're not just writing an Instagram bio. They're tuning into things like self-awareness, plotting a future direction, writing a new neural story, like we already said, and they're beginning to believe it. So we're also sneaking in something called implementation intention theory. Ooh, say that 5 times fast. Which basically says when you make a specific emotionally charged statement about who you want to be, you're more likely to act in alignment with that version of you. Didn't think we were going to be tricky like that, did you?
Well, you know what, guys? That's why we chose 5 words. It's short enough to stick, but long enough to shift you. You're not just picking adjectives, you're actually drafting your own story. You're generating the language that frames who you're becoming, how you'll move through the world, and what kind of comeback you're building.
That's literally like how a spark becomes a force. Like, woo, yowza.
These are some absolutely amazing things. Like, I don't know, it's little things, guys. It's little things, and it's a little
Yeah.
trick. So we might have been a little tricky doing that with you guys, but these are how you can be a little tricky with your brain to build your comeback.
Yeah. Like honestly, I think so many people are just like, "Oh my God, it's going to take a whole overhaul of my life." And it's not. It's just being intentional with a couple of things, like being intentional setting these words, then being intentional in setting these words in a place that you'll see them frequently. Like you don't have to see them all the time, but if you can see these words frequently, then it's going to remind that neural pathway that you just opened what you're working towards. And that's where the magic happens. It's
And
not intensive.
it's micro changes and
Hmm.
consistency. And that's where that's where we're making the magic. So
Absolutely.
let's talk about this codex of becoming.
Listen, I got a little cheesy with the title.
Look, I love it. Well, here's why I love it. The codex of becoming. Here's why I love it is because my husband and I play D&D. So I just gotta, this wasn't weird to me.
I know, like listen, so I don't know, it's getting Halloweeny time and I always love getting like a little mystical. Like anytime pumpkin spice comes out, I'm like already forward to Halloween, right? So like it's fall time, pumpkin spicy has come out. And so now I'm like, oh, we're moving full on mystical. So the codex of becoming is like, but so let me explain what the codex of becoming is. It is my power notebook. So it's where I keep the words that anchor me, any quotes that I find like on Instagram or yeah, I said Instagram. I was meant to say Pinterest first. In my brain, I was thinking Pinterest, my mouth said Instagram. So Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, wherever, anything that we can put into this power notebook where my dreams whisper to me like go bigger. Like this is the ultimate manifestation station, right? Like so instead of just one static vision board where, I build it in January and I stick it on my wall and I look at it, like this is a living, breathing version. And it's something that you just add on to over time. So, like, because we're not static human beings, we're constantly changing and evolving. And
And
then when I feel low, I come back here to remember what's true and I can refuel my fire. So I wanted to give this to you today. And I want you to think of it as your fireproof notebook for the future that you're building. And Krista, what did we just talk about with the pictures that we talked about last week? Remember how we talked about that?
yes, we talked about being able to put those pictures in, collect them in this space for kind of your breathing, living vision board, which is
Yeah.
really cool. What did we call them? They're capturing your joy
Yeah.
and
So when we
your
were back when we were talking to Ash, like when we were talking about how we could feel better and like fuel ourselves up with really easy things.
Yeah, and yeah, just these little memories of where you were feeling powerful and on fire. And you can collect them all in this space. And now, Jackie, tell them what you did for them for the first 90 days.
So I'm going to make this free for the first 90 days because I want this in the hands of women who are ready to rise. So if that's you, download it, start filling it in, and let it grow with you. You can find the QR code in the Kindling kit, but I think it's November 17th, maybe. May that it's gonna be a paid product after that. So get it while you can and use it because again, it's the little tiny actions that are gonna launch you the farthest.
All right, guys. So we're going to shift into our action spark for this week. So if you have a comeback blueprint, let's flip to page 8, which is your drafting table space. If you don't have the comeback blueprint, we're going to use our Codex of Becoming
Whoop,
and
whoop.
use that as a space. We're going to use that as our sketch pad. It's going to be our dream zone, our what if playground, our comeback sandbox. It's a blank space. So sometimes it's easy to not utilize it, but this is the place where your dreams can turn into reality. It's meant to be used like a vision board, like we were just talking about. It's a doodle space, a space to process, a space to dream, a space to name the things we're dreaming about, making the intangible tangible so we can focus on it.
Awesome. And while we've got the comeback blueprint up, if you're in it, I just want to take a minute to talk about the dang dots. If you have the blueprint, I'm sure you've noticed that the dots don't line up perfectly. So I am like a huge perfectionist, and this drives me nuts.
So,
It
well, it's
drives
okay.
me, it drives me so insane that these dots don't line up.
Here's
But
the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I used to be that person too until relatively recently, but I looked at those and went, that could bother me. Or that's just a reminder that's how we live our life. Like
well, that's
it's
why
not perfect.
this
It's not going
yeah,
to line up always.
that's the whole intention behind this. So I want to just like take people, of course, an analogy and think of a linen dress. Like you're wearing this like beautiful linen dress, you're getting ready to go to the beach. You got a linen dress on. It's breezy, it's nice, it's cool. You put it on, it's freshly pressed, you're beautiful, you're glowing, you feel awesome. But then you wear it for 5 seconds, you sit down, you get up, and it's wrinkled. Like it's impossible to be in a linen suit for more than like 5 minutes and still look freshly pressed, right? And that's exactly the reason why I designed the dots this way, is because the more you sit in these notes and you see the unevenness of the dots, the more your brain adapts to it. The more it's going to accept that it's not perfect. And it's going to help you realize, well, the page was never perfect to begin with, so you don't need to keep it perfect and then use it exactly as you need to. So you can get it messy. You can get the pages crumpled. You can get a rip in it because it's no big deal. It was never perfect to begin with. That's the kind of perfection, the unperfection perfection that the comeback blueprint is begging for. It needs the messy to heal.
So
Makes sense?
I feel like she just called me out because I'm that type of person that that'll get the beautiful candle in the beautiful glass and I won't burn it because I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
it's too perfect.
Yeah, yeah,
So
I'm the same
I feel
way.
super called out. Don't just save things. I do. I probably have like a bunch of journals that are beautiful, like bound, and they've got beautiful colors, and you don't want to break the spine, and you don't want to, but why do you
Mhm.
have them?
Yeah,
Like, so
exactly.
that's
That's
like a,
exactly it. Like it just like it was never perfect, so you can go ahead and make it more unperfect.
and we
Love it.
love that. We love that because that's how life is. So
Absolutely.
we're going to leave you with something super simple, but super powerful to carry with you this week. It's called the Catch Me Being Her Challenge. Here's how it works. Anytime you do something big or small that feels like your comeback self, write it in your becoming codex or codex of becoming. because I like that wording better. Drop it in your notes app, text it to yourself, doesn't matter where. What matters is you catch it. So, like, if you are like having a little bit of a meltdown because well, I'll give you an example. I'm having a little bit of a meltdown because my washer and I are having a disagreement on what we think should be a balanced load, and it thinks it shouldn't be a balanced load. So, anyways, but either way, it's I took a second to calm down and be like, well, this is a relatively insignificant thing in my life, and even if I have to reset it 5 or 6 times, which I know I'll have to do, it's okay. I am being the calm person and just moving through my little, it's not even really a storm. It's like a little, I don't know,
Oh, it's a
like,
storm. It's a little tornado moving through your life for
yeah,
sure.
it's just that, I mean, I wish it would be the tornado so it would wring out my clothes. But,
You're
and
the
it's
one
just,
with the tornado problem, not the washing machine, Krista.
I know. I want the washing machine to have the tornado problem, not me. But so it's just like finding those moments where you can center yourself from the little storms that are moving through and just be able to pass on and let it not bother you.
Yeah.
And like you can finally acknowledge these things. If you make a little note to yourself, you can finally acknowledge the thing that you're scared to think. Catch me being hurt. You stand your ground or stop apologizing for being too much. Catch me being her.
Like, how cool is that? Like, I love that. That's again, it takes minutes, right? And the trick is to catch me being her, right? Because you're not always going to acknowledge the fact that you did something the way that you wanted to do it, right? Like instead of being on autopilot, you stood up for yourself. Catch me
Yeah,
being her. It's hard to catch sometimes. So it's simple, but it's not easy, but it's powerful.
it is. It's super powerful. It's super powerful to catch yourself being, oh, I would have, even just last month, I would have completely blown up at that situation. And I didn't. I was just like, oh, okay. It's a minor inconvenience. We're moving on.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. So before we wrap up today, I just want to say this, that showing up for this fire session was a decision. And it could be a bold one, a survivor's choice, a warrior's choice. And not everybody shows up for themselves in the middle of their messy or the middle of their hard. So not everybody's up to rising, saying yes to rising again either, but you did it, and I'm proud of you, Krista. I bet you're proud too.
I am unbelievably proud. I know how hard it can be to stand up and
Yeah.
show up for some of these things when, especially if you're in a dark moment, if you're in the middle of a
Mm,
storm.
absolutely. And that's what makes you different. You came with your spark, and that's more than enough to start a fire. So you're not just dreaming anything, you're documenting it in your codex of becoming or your comeback blueprint. You made it visible, you made it a force. One spark shared, guys.
Is one fire multiplied. We'll
Have
see
a
you
great
next time.
day.
Bye.